London say Buckingham Palace has uncovered the truth
Same
about...
date, different belly sizes. No, it's not the angle the photo is taken. There's no way that any angle could change that size of belly.
Buckingham Palace released a statement that quickly drew global attention. The announcement, formal yet carefully worded, confirmed that Prince William had declined to validate a private DNA report submitted by Prince Harry. The report, according to public sources, was intended to confirm personal family ties and support a request for recognition within official royal records. This decision wasn't framed as a simple disagreement between brothers. It reflected a broader institutional stance. The statement emphasized that any matter concerning royal lineage would require verification conducted under Crown oversight using approved forensic and legal protocols. In essence, the palace was signaling that all official confirmations must follow established royal procedures. Reports indicate that Prince Harry's legal team had recently forwarded a detailed file to Clarence House, including supporting documentation and sworn statements. According to these reports, the goal was to restore certain formal recognitions and clarify Harry's family status within royal registries. The development marks another complex moment in the ongoing relationship between Prince Harry, Prince William, and the institution they both represent. While public discussion has been intense, official sources have remained measured, focusing on due process and transparency. Observers note that the situation underscores the continuing challenges faced by the modern monarchy, balancing personal privacy, tradition, and public accountability. For now, the palace has not announced any further steps, leaving the matter open to future review and interpretation. According to several reports, Prince William's response was described as methodical and highly procedural. Sources within the palace suggest that he reconvened the Sovereign Succession Security Council, an advisory group composed of legal, intelligence, and archival specialists that reviews matters of heritage and documentation when disputes arise. Soon after, William's office reportedly placed a temporary hold on a recent submission related to lineage verification, citing procedural inconsistencies that required further review. Internal documents, referred to in some accounts as the bloodline files, outlined the points that advisors believed needed clarification. Among the issues raised were discrepancies in publicly available imagery from past periods, missing or incomplete archival confirmations, and updates to certain official documents that appeared to differ from established formats. Palace representatives have emphasized that these observations do not imply wrongdoing, but rather reflect the Crown's commitment to precise record-keeping and transparent verification.
I am dealing with facts, as simple as that. And there is no doubt that something tremendously odd and a very disturbing.
Observers note that these developments highlight how deeply institutional procedures govern royal documentation. What may appear as a personal or family issue often involves formal reviews, historic standards, and legal accuracy. As of now, the palace has not released any further comment, leaving much of the discussion based on interpretation of the available public material. Reports indicate that a private royal event in May 2019 was conducted without access for traditional press photographers, drawing speculation among royal observers. Around that same period, public records linked a financial transaction from a company known as AWOL LLC to a medical facility near the US-Mexico border. Some outlets have claimed the clinic is known for offering highly confidential fertility and medical services. According to unverified accounts cited by several commentators, cybersecurity experts later reviewed encrypted communications connected to that transaction, which allegedly referenced a non-disclosure agreement. These reports, however, have not been publicly substantiated, and neither the palace nor the individuals named have provided detailed responses to the claims. Sources close to the royal household describe Prince William's stance as cautious and focused on institutional procedure, emphasizing the importance of accuracy and transparency in official documentation. Others familiar with the matter suggest that Prince Harry views the current process as unnecessarily restrictive. Meghan's representatives, meanwhile, have maintained discretion, occasionally alluding to potential legal remedies should the matter remain unresolved. At present, the palace has not released further information. The situation continues to be monitored closely by media and royal correspondents, who note that it may lead to renewed examination of decisions made during the couple's transition away from official royal duties in 2020. Following Prince William's decision to withhold validation of the DNA documentation reportedly submitted by Prince Harry, attention has shifted toward the testing process itself. According to several media reports, the laboratory involved, identified as Horizon Gene Diagnostics, a small genetics firm based in Santa Barbara, was the facility used for the private DNA analysis conducted in early 2026. Harry's legal team has stated that the test confirmed his biological connection through a high-probability result. However, sources aligned with the palace have questioned the procedures behind the submission, noting that the samples were not handled through what they consider a neutral or officially recognized chain of custody. Additionally, Horizon Gene Diagnostics is not listed under the UK's Royal College of Pathologists or accredited under ISO 17025, the international standard often cited for forensic testing in legal contexts. Oversight of the documentation reportedly came from Douglas Hall, an attorney based in Oregon known for handling complex transnational legal matters. According to British press coverage, Hall managed both the commissioning of the DNA test and the submission of related materials to UK authorities. More recently, questions have emerged regarding an internal email attributed to Hall's office and dated January 22, 2026. Media outlets claim the message referenced concerns about timing and presentation of results. Neither Hall nor his firm has publicly verified the authenticity or context of that communication. At this stage, no official ruling or response has been issued by Buckingham Palace, and the matter remains under quiet internal review.
I want to ask the audience here a much more important question. Meghan there, is that a real baby bump or has she strapped it on? Because
weird.
She's got form for strapping on baby bumps.
Media outlets continue to analyze a recently surfaced email, reportedly connected to attorney Douglas Hall, that includes the phrase, "We need optics, not science." In a public statement, Hall did not dispute the email's existence but maintained that it was quoted out of context and related to standard procedural discussions. Adding complexity to the situation, Prince William's office has released a detailed timeline outlining how DNA samples were transported between multiple international laboratories in late January 2026. According to those reports, one sample traveled from Los Angeles to London, while another was sent to Zurich but never processed due to unpaid fees. Palace analysts have described this as an administrative irregularity rather than direct evidence of misconduct, noting that verification procedures are still ongoing. Documents cited by royal correspondents suggest that both facilities lacked formal chain of custody documentation recognized under UK forensic standards. A source familiar with the inquiry characterized the issue as a procedural challenge, more about compliance and transparency than personal conflict. As the review continues, attention has turned toward an internal intelligence summary known as File Sigma, reportedly prepared by former analysts now contracted under the palace's custodial division. Though unverified, the file is said to reassess prior documentation and correspondence related to the current dispute. For now, official channels remain quiet, emphasizing that any conclusions will depend on confirmed evidence and formal review within the established royal and governmental frameworks. According to documents referenced in several British reports, an internal file titled Disruption of Lineal Continuity, Sussex Asset Irregularities, 2019 to 2023, has drawn renewed attention within palace circles. At the center of this dossier are claims surrounding a 2019 financial transaction allegedly linked to a private medical facility abroad. The reports cite a wire transfer of just under $500,000 executed by a company known as Awell LLC and directed to a medical center near Tijuana, Mexico. Sources familiar with the investigation describe the clinic as one that provides confidential reproductive and wellness services to international clients. Its name remains redacted in all public documentation. The discovery of the payment, according to media summaries, originated from a cybersecurity review conducted by former intelligence consultants now working under a palace administrative division known as the Custodian Unit. Analysts reportedly traced the transfer through multiple intermediary accounts in Delaware and the Cayman Islands before identifying its final destination. While online commentators have connected these findings to long-circulating theories and visual analyses from 2019, official sources have not confirmed any of the speculation. Palace representatives have consistently discouraged conjecture, stating that all relevant information must be evaluated under formal review processes. At present, no verified evidence has been made public regarding the intent or nature of the payment. Observers note that this episode illustrates the complexity of financial transparency and privacy issues that often surround high-profile figures, especially within the unique structure of the modern British monarchy. Photographs from early 2019 have resurfaced in renewed public debate, with commentators highlighting variations in Meghan Markle's appearance across different engagements on the same day. Some independent analysts have suggested that the differences could be due to camera angles, lighting, or clothing. Others, however, have claimed inconsistencies that they argue warrant further examination. None of these assessments have been independently verified, and the palace has not issued a formal response. According to reports, a private internal review was conducted using digital imaging analysis to assess visual material from that period. While findings have been referenced in the press, no official version of the study has been made public. Statements attributed to unnamed staff members have also circulated online, though their authenticity and context remain unconfirmed. Royal correspondents say that these discussions have prompted a series of quiet meetings among senior members of the royal household and constitutional advisors. The broader focus, they note, is on the formal procedures that govern verification of royal lineage and documentation, protocols that have existed for centuries to maintain historical accuracy and legal continuity. Historians emphasize that the current matter, whatever its outcome, is less about personal relationships and more about institutional structure. Ensuring that the monarchy's administrative and genealogical processes remain transparent and consistent is seen as essential to preserving public trust. For now, the palace continues to refrain from public comment as reviews proceed through official channels. Sources close to the royal household have described growing tension between procedural formality and personal sentiment. One individual reportedly summarized the situation by saying, "We don't run on sentiment, we run on record," emphasizing the monarchy's reliance on documented verification rather than emotion. On the evening of February 11, 2026, a formal directive, identified by several outlets as Lineage 1 Urgent, was reportedly sent from Buckingham Palace to the Royal Register. The document, said to bear Prince William's signature and issued under the authority of the Crown Succession Security Council, temporarily halted updates or amendments to the official lineage record pending a comprehensive review. According to reports, the order invoked a historical clause dating back to 1837, allowing the heir to the throne to pause registry actions in cases of procedural uncertainty or disputed documentation. Experts in royal protocol note that such authority has rarely been used in modern times, describing it as a last resort measure within the framework of royal administration. Historians explain that the Royal Household Register, established in the Victorian era, serves as the monarchy's central genealogical ledger, ensuring continuity across generations. The recent freeze, while unprecedented in recent memory, is being characterized by palace sources as a precautionary safeguard rather than a punitive step. Analysts suggest that the event underscores the monarchy's delicate balance between transparency, heritage, and institutional preservation. For now, the palace has declined to comment further, signaling that the review process will continue under confidential internal protocols. The recent directive issued by Prince William was not merely symbolic, it had procedural implications within the palace's internal systems. According to reports, updates to the official royal registry have been placed under review, with new verification protocols introduced for any future modifications. At the same time, attention has turned toward King Charles III. Sources close to the palace claim that a sealed memorandum, authored by Charles in late 2025, was recently reopened at William's request. While the document's content remains classified, its existence has reportedly been verified by multiple insiders. The memo's subject line, according to these accounts, references trust and outlines potential measures for handling unresolved procedural matters within the royal lineage framework. Those familiar with the situation describe the king's role as both personal and constitutional, balancing familial concern with the responsibilities of sovereign oversight. Analysts suggest that the unsealing of the memo indicates a desire for continuity in decision-making, ensuring that royal administrative protocols remain consistent during a time of transition. Separately, legal representatives for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have filed motions in the UK High Court, challenging aspects of the palace's handling of lineage verification. The filing reportedly argues that certain royal procedures are administrative traditions rather than statutory civil processes, and therefore subject to legal interpretation. As of now, Buckingham Palace has declined to comment, maintaining that all related inquiries will proceed through formal channels under established royal and legal frameworks. Recent legal filings submitted by representatives of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex reportedly include supporting materials and personal testimonies intended to clarify their position in the ongoing dispute. The palace, however, has not issued any public response, a silence many analysts interpret as deliberate and strategic while internal reviews continue. Within royal circles, sources describe differing opinions on how the matter should proceed. Princess Anne is said to favor a formal medical and procedural review to ensure institutional clarity, while Prince Edward reportedly supports a balanced approach that preserves both transparency and dignity. Queen Camilla, according to those familiar with internal discussions, has emphasized that the monarchy must remain steady and dignified amid growing public scrutiny. Relations between Prince William and Prince Harry are said to have become strained, with communication described by insiders as brief and formal. Observers note that this dispute now extends beyond personal disagreement, touching on broader constitutional and ethical questions regarding the monarchy's internal governance. In response to the ongoing controversy, reports indicate that Prince William has directed the creation of a new oversight body known as the Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity, or RCLEC. This group is said to review royal lineage procedures and recommend modern standards for transparency, documentation, and accountability. As of February 12, 2026, the commission is reportedly active. The palace has yet to provide details on its scope, but its formation marks one of the most significant procedural moves in the modern history of the British royal household. According to reports, Prince William has issued an advisory concerning the formal use of royal titles, stating that styling privileges will be temporarily withheld pending completion of a full verification process. While not a legal revocation under letters patent, the directive is described as binding within palace operations and administrative protocol. Insiders suggest the decision reflects growing attention to accuracy and institutional integrity rather than personal sentiment. The statement, reportedly signed under William's authority, emphasizes the need for clarity before any formal recognition resumes. Separate discussions have reportedly focused on the management of assets linked to the late Princess Diana's estate. Sources indicate that trustees have been consulted regarding the temporary status of certain allocations until procedural reviews conclude. Advisors close to the palace note that these steps are viewed as safeguards meant to protect the crown's credibility and Diana's legacy. For now, all parties appear to be proceeding cautiously as legal and procedural evaluations continue under the Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity. According to palace insiders, Lord Pembroke, an informal legal advisor to the Sovereign Council, has emphasized that current reviews are based on fiduciary duty rather than emotion. This statement coincides with the formal activation of the Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity, RCLEC, a body established under Royal Charter in 1975 but rarely convened publicly. The commission reportedly includes senior members from the House of Lords Ethics Committee, a retired Privy Council judge, the Royal Archivist General, and other constitutional specialists. Its mandate is to assess the accuracy and legitimacy of royal lineage records and to ensure those records align with long-standing ceremonial and legal standards. Observers say the RCLEC's work reflects a wider effort to uphold integrity within the monarchy's institutional framework. The review process, though confidential, underscores how seriously the Crown treats questions of heritage, documentation, and ethical accountability. For now, all findings remain sealed pending formal verification and final approval through royal channels. Public opinion across the United Kingdom remains sharply divided as the Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity, RCLEC, approaches its final judgment. Recent polls suggest a majority of respondents support the Commission's inquiry, though views differ on the fairness and transparency of the process. Social media has amplified the discussion, with competing narratives emerging around the future of the monarchy and its approach to lineage verification. Analysts note that this moment represents one of the most sensitive constitutional reviews in recent royal history. According to reports, the RCLEC's findings, based on documentation, financial records, and personal statements, are now under final review by Prince William, Princess Anne, and the Lord Chancellor. While the official ruling remains sealed under royal protocol, insiders describe the atmosphere as tense and historically significant. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle is reportedly preparing a recorded public statement addressing the matter directly. Sources close to her team indicate the message will focus on personal perspective and broader issues of fairness and accountability within the institution. According to multiple media outlets, Meghan Markle is expected to release a recorded public statement responding to the ongoing investigation, framing it as an issue of institutional bias and accountability. The production is reportedly being managed by an independent US-based media company and will be distributed through various digital platforms, including YouTube and Instagram. Palace insiders say officials are preparing for the statement's impact, as it coincides with the forthcoming announcement from Prince William. His address, titled "On the Matter of Lineage and Constitutional Continuity," has reportedly been finalized and reviewed by King Charles prior to his medical retreat. Sources suggest the speech will reaffirm the monarchy's duty to uphold historical and procedural standards, emphasizing that recent actions were taken to preserve institutional integrity rather than motivated by personal animosity. Meanwhile, unverified reports from Heathrow Customs have mentioned a sealed travel manifest linked to an incoming private flight scheduled for mid-February 2026. Its authenticity and purpose remain unclear. For now, both the palace and the Sussex representatives have declined to comment as public anticipation continues to build. Reports have surfaced of a private charter flight registered to an operator frequently used by senior members of the royal family. While palace representatives have neither confirmed nor denied the manifest, several outlets suggest that Prince Harry may be preparing to return to the United Kingdom. Royal commentators, including journalist Olivia Hart, have described the potential trip as a symbolic gesture aimed at reconciliation, though others caution that such reports could be speculative or part of a broader strategy. Palace insiders remind observers that within royal affairs, timing and discretion often carry deep significance. As anticipation builds, international media outlets are closely following the pending outcome of the Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity Review. The Commission's ruling is expected to clarify the constitutional and procedural implications surrounding royal documentation and heritage claims. If confirmed, the decision could carry far-reaching institutional consequences, potentially reshaping how the monarchy manages lineage verification and transparency in the modern era. Until an official statement is released, both the palace and the Sussex representatives have maintained public silence. Early the next morning, activity around Buckingham Palace intensified. Security vehicles discreetly repositioned near the North Gate, while staff were seen entering through side entrances normally reserved for high-level meetings. Sources close to the palace indicate that the Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity had concluded its deliberations overnight, delivering its sealed recommendation to Prince William just before dawn. Inside, the atmosphere was described as tense but deliberate. Senior aides reportedly gathered in the Privy Council chamber, reviewing procedural options before the statement's release. The king, still recovering from treatment, was briefed remotely from Sandringham, approving the next steps through his private secretary. Across London, the media blackout remained unbroken. No leaks, no briefings, just a quiet expectation that something definitive was coming. Royal observers speculate that William's forthcoming address may signal not only a resolution to the immediate controversy, but also a precedent for how future disputes over lineage and protocol will be handled within the Crown's governance. As dawn broke over Westminster, one aide was overheard saying, "When the gates open, history will follow." All current indications suggest that Prince William plans to respect the Royal Commission's final ruling in full, without alteration or delay. Palace sources describe his approach as one rooted in duty, accepting the outcome as a binding decision under constitutional protocol. What began as an internal review has evolved into a far-reaching reflection on heritage, governance, and public accountability within one of the world's oldest institutions. At its heart, this moment raises enduring questions about how tradition adapts to transparency in the modern age, and what legacy will guide the monarchy's next chapter. What do you think this means for the future of the royal family? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated as this extraordinary story continues to unfold.